A couple of more times. And deeper. Oh, and open up big down there.
I can't dance. Ask the class. Colonel Burr stirring. Her first rehearsal. Voluntary secretary. I had a great upbringing. I lived in Brisbane, in Australia, in Queensland, with my mum. And yeah, we lived in a really great area. Had a lot of room to play, and it was really magical, actually.
That's where it gets tricky. See, I'm from Bakersfield, California, right? And I'm having some memory issues lately, and I'm a little worried about it. Well, Fred may be the second coming of Jesus. Why wouldn't Fred be some guy from Bakersfield in a strip bar? I mean, if you're really gonna fight against the bullshit of being Christian, and if Jesus really was some lowly carpenter that saved, you know, that the shepherds found, and if we're really gonna delve into that, then why wouldn't Fred be some guy from Bakersfield that comes to a strip bar that God sends? Why, before he decides on the apocalypse? Makes sense to me. And I think it's hilarious, because I want to see how they react to that. I want to see if it makes people mad, because it shouldn't, but it's gonna. But it shouldn't.
This is the pictures. This is back in the days when I was with William Morris. Look at that, see? This meant nothing. I did more commercials with William Morris, but then they got to a point they dropped everybody who wasn't a name. You know? This thing lasted for years. And I don't know who these people are. This is like... I mean, I'd throw some titles. Yeah. Night of the Warrior, no one ever saw that. Black Pudding was a pilot. King of the City, no one saw that film. Dog Day Afternoon, everybody saw that. The Valachi Papers, Girls Love for Living, and The Godfather. But this is what I used to list all your stuff. This is one of my famous moments. There was a group called Cabaret Voltaire. It's still on the web. I play a sheriff, and they used to be the opening act for Madonna. So we did this. That's crazy. And you always used to list. See, this is what happened in the old days. You always list who you worked for. And I think of all, he's the only one that's still alive. Who trained you, Warren Robertson. But Lee's dead. He died like what, 30 years ago. And then Sal's dead. Sal Down was a nice guy. Milton Gonzalez is one of the best and most influential teachers. He's a Scientologist. Is that you?
No, it's actually, I think it's you.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I mean, one of the things I was rejected, I was a play years ago, Arturo Ui, that Pacino was doing. And I very much wanted to be in the play. And I would have been, it was wonderful at the Joe Papp Theater. And the person says, oh, the role, Ron's too big for the role. I said, yeah, but he still wants to be in the play. And you say, yeah, but he's too much. You say, phew. I mean, what is that? You know, it would have been nice to be in the piece, working with Al, working at the Joe Papp Theater. And it wasn't a biggest role, but you wanted to be in the production.
I have no idea what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm just gonna watch the other comics go up before me and see how the audience reacts to them, and then kind of base off what I'm gonna do from that.
You're the taxi? Hell yeah, bro. Fucking A. Do you sell weed as well? You look like you sell weed. You got like a little soul patch. You look like you surf and sell weed. And occasionally work on a lawn or two. Hey bro, you wanna mow this lawn? You wanna mow this lawn right here?
Oh, I have an older brother and a younger brother, and there's like a huge age gap with my older brother. He's like 20 years older than I am. My younger brother's like 2 years younger than I am. And in my family, they call me the golden child because I'm the only one who hasn't seen a jail cell. The only one who hasn't been arrested.
Comfortable sofa. A wonderful constable. Thoroughly encouraged. School shoes. Fruit juice.
It's dead. The roads are dead. All my friends aren't here, and it's a little boring, to be honest. So I'm just doing my daily thing of going to the gym, doing my lines, like rehearsing lines, doing my American accent.
In New York, there are some wonderful actors, but there's like a closed group. Unless you're on Broadway or unless you're known, you don't break through. But then you come to California, you do some work, you go back to New York, you're a movie star. And when they were casting The Godfather, they said they were going to use unknowns. But unknown, in the normal definition of the word, is not what they really mean. They were looking for people who weren't known in the film business. So I had done a play, and Tommy Signorelli, wonderful guy, he passed away. He had seen me, and he really loved me, and he set me up with the producer of the film, and had a half-hour meeting for the part. And I didn't get it. They went with Pacino, but the thing is, they gave me a minor role playing an usher, and it was very frustrating because, you know, here you are, you're 31 years old, you figure you've been studying, you can do something. So I kind of spent a lot of time on the farm because I felt I wanted to live a real life. I wanted to connect with life. And sometimes when you're too connected in this world, it's a fake world.
How do you feel, honey?
I feel tense.
And I feel hurt.
I feel sad, and I want to go home.
Very good. I feel hurt. He hurt me.
My mouth is dry. I feel...
And he hurt me. Stay there. He hurt me.
He hurt me. I don't want to get help. I don't want to feel this.
Very good. He hurt me, and I don't want to feel this anymore.
I know. I want to get rid of him. I want to hurt him. I want to get rid of him. Rid of him out of my mind.
In my early childhood, I was from a kind of broken home with sexual abuse. And then I was a homeless teenager, punk rock teenager on the streets right down the street here from about 13 to 15. And then I was moved around to several foster homes. And then, yeah, that's gonna be difficult, right? Should I not say anything? That's so hard. We were actually, when we were talking the other night, we were in the kitchen, we had our private conversation. We were talking about my childhood, which...
Well, I was always amazed, absolutely amazed, because you said for 1 year you were homeless.
More than that.
More than a year.
Yeah.
I said, how does somebody come out looking, feeling, and acting like this person with that background? I think it's just a miracle.
Well, negative experience in my acting career. I'm 43, and I don't have much of a career, really.
So I never have a set game plan because, like I said, every audience is different and the people are different. I don't know them personally, so I'm gonna watch them and develop an idea of what they might like. And then from what I have, I'm kind of try to combine that and make something.
Whatever you like, bro. You know, I remember, okay, Halloween. This girl, it was like one night stand, we met each other, and she's like, hey, come in the bathroom, so we go in the bathroom, and we start hooking up, and she's like, fucking choke me. And I was like, okay. And I start choking her, and she's like, harder, you little bitch. I was like, you call me a little bitch? Okay, this is not my dominant hand, okay? This is my left hand I'm choking you with, okay, first of all. So I try to squeeze hard, and she's like, oh, whatever, I'll do it myself. So she opens up her purse and pulls out this necktie and wraps it around her neck, and then she wraps it around the shower rod. So she's like, and I'm like, I gotta do something, because I gotta be manly, you know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, you like that, you like that, you like that, you like that, and she's not saying anything back. I'm like, yo, you like that, and I was like, look, so I pull up the necktie, and her head hits the sink. I was like, oh my God, my dick instantaneously went limp, man. It looked like my dick entered a dojo and just bowed out. It's like, oh, sensei.
You know, there's a amount of frustration when because we got to look at the red carpet, you know, and you go there and you know, you would like to be on the red carpet along, you know, George Clooney and everybody else. And, you know, it's something personal inside of you. You can feel, oh, I would like to, but you know what? I pretty much like myself, so I don't suffer as much as other people do. Plus, I will give you a great example. When you're an actor, you're dealing with emotions all the time because you're playing characters. You know how to emote, and then you know how to calm it down. And I will give you the best example. At the funerals of my parents, I can go up there, I can talk, I can break down, and then I can come back. My brother, sister could never do it. So the advantage of being an actor is you learn how to deal with your emotions and release them. Because if you just don't release them, I mean, Rod Steiger, terrific actor, 5 years spent in his house. Kim Stanley, incredible actress. Some people get so affected, you know, even though you're a very good actor, your personal life might be not so happy. You know, so the thing is, my personal life is pretty happy, and I've learned how to adjust, but I'm not controlled. I mean, I don't drink really, I don't get, you know, stoned, I don't go crazy. I'll go work out. That's a crazy thing, you know, ride the motorcycle or go to the gym. So just give me a quick summary.
Look at this sun. Look at this sun. It's for me.
Te va a dar cáncer lo que te va a dar a ti.
Cáncer. Cáncer, no jodas. Quedaron encantadísimos.
¿Escuchaste? ¿Qué es eso?
Que me dejen el recado.
Ay, bueno, chico.
Que
mira.
El tipo llega con su sombrerito, se lo saca. Dice, you'll never be able to make up for what you've done.
I mean, it's really good to see this. I mean, I've just been very excited because you two guys never met before. What we're gonna have to do, we're gonna find, I think the important thing is, and even with the scene, is you can use the scene and we can put a little more of you into it, and then for the audition, that's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the thing is, I think, you know, it's in the business, you have to be able to flip.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were flipping.
Yeah.
And even he looked.
Same.
At God of the End, it wasn't like he wasn't he was feeling something.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of people don't realize New York is it's very hard, it's concrete. You cannot, here you can go to a studio, you can have lunch, you're sitting in the studio and some guy sees you, hey, what are you doing, how you doing? They think you're working. LA is great, it's a great place to live, but you need to go, you need to leave here because it's all about the film business and you cannot, everybody wants to be in the movies. You know, you talk to a waitress, you talk to, your insurance agent, he's written a script.
So they're gonna shoot me walking Phyllis because I take care of her dog. So we're gonna shoot Phyllis on Saturday. But Phyllis is a tango performer, dancer, a tango composer, a songwriter, a yogi, a trapeze artist, all at this age.
Wow.
She is a firecracker. To me, I feel when I walk in here, I just a sense of calmness that everything's gonna be okay. Phyllis is gonna be telling me something new about her day, and it's unexpected whatever we're gonna talk about or however our walk is gonna be, but it's just peaceful, comforting. And Phyllis to me seems like someone I've always known.
So wait a second. So you're gonna have time when you're not working, or you don't know what you're gonna do, like the other one.
No. I haven't worked out in a week because I've been shooting.
Oh yeah?
Can't wait to get back to it.
People think I'm gay because I act like this. That's why I wish I had wings. I think it'd be way easier to pick up chicks, you know what I mean? Some girls leaving the bar and she's like, oh my god, I'm so drunk. Took me, left me. I'm like, oh girl, you need a ride? Get on. And then my luscious locks are touching her luscious locks, so we're having avatar sex, and she's like, let's make my ex-boyfriend jealous. So we fly over to his house, and he's like, what the hell's that? Oh, it just got done. It hurt so bad.
Oh, there's many actresses I identify with.
Can you explain who they are?
Well, the Australians, of course. Every Australian actress is inspiring.
But we're not in Australia, we're in Los Angeles, so who inspires you here?
Every Australian actress that's in LA. They've got here, they've worked hard to get here, and they inspire me as an Australian actress that I can also achieve that greatness.
So how long have you been acting, and how long have you been acting for as well?
Oh, my acting?
Yeah,
oh, that's
acting.
a whole different story.
Yeah, when you're here in this show.
Oh, as the character. Oh, well,
Sorry.
yeah. I mean, being cast in this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've been acting a long time.
Sorry, I should have said we're just doing a Rhonda chat.
Oh, good. So then stay with Rhonda.
Yeah, stay with Rhonda.
She doesn't act.
Okay, so can you tell where Rhonda... Speaking to Rhonda...
Yeah.
Okay, Rhonda, can you tell us where you're from and a little bit of your background?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just outside of Illinois, a little town there, very small. Some people actually have southern accents in my town. Came here a while ago. Just seems like I'd have better chance of meeting the right guy, which really hasn't happened. Just been dancing. I love stripping. People don't like to hear that, but I love it. I don't know.
And how long have you been doing the acting?
I kind of dabble in that. I don't know if I'm really an actress, you know. I'm trying. I like it.
And what about your part in the production?
Well, it's a little strange because I met this guy, Fred, and then they did this whole, like, reality show about him, and I was like, that's kind of weird that they asked me to be in it because I'm really starting to fall in love with this guy. And then they have this show. It's really weird because it's almost like being yourself, but not, I don't know. It's really strange. I think it's good. I grew up with someone who was mentally ill, and he was schizophrenic. So I understand what's behind every human. And I'm not that sane, so.
So like, you're the golden child, you better not mess up. Ah. And like my brother David, my dad's had to bail him out a bunch of jails in San Diego. My dad's like, Davey, I bailed you out of every single jail in San Diego. Like, hello, how are you doing today? Can I get anything right? Hey, how are you doing today? Oh my gosh, hey, oh yeah, let's dance. And he's like, what? No, you haven't? Wait, yeah, you have. So one time he was bailing my brother out because my brother got caught with weed. And when my brother was walking out, he went and stopped at the police officer, and he's like, hey, can I get my weed back? And the officer just laughs at him.
No, you're lucky. I was drunk. And the cop pulled me over. He wanted to give me the finger test. But my drunk mind told me to go, you better call backup.
And my brother's all pissed off, so when he walks out, my dad goes, Davey walks out, and he whips his doink out and starts peeing on the door. And I'm like, Davey, what are you doing? Get in the car, you idiot. Get in the car. They get to the car, he's like, that will show them. That's my brother's thing. Like, yeah, that'll show them. Stick it to the man.
Yeah, things are going pretty well. I found a really great class, which is donation only. So I'm able to afford that. Other than that, I am struggling. It's not complaining. It's just like this club, this really exclusive club, you know. Oh, and when we were leaving, we're in like this limousine, and there was all these paparazzi outside, and they all started taking our photo from the car, and it was so funny. It was just hilarious.
No, my name is Ronald Frank Gilbert. My father changed the name from Goldstein in 1943, but I was born in 1940 in New York City, and I currently live in Santa Monica, California.
Pages, but then it might get you talking about it for a few minutes, like what you look at when you're reading a script. What maybe some experiences reading the scripts, maybe some like what, just stuff like that. So
I mean, the thing is, you read it. Well, I can go into it, but the thing is, it grabs you right away, and it takes you on a journey. A lot of stuff, and I mean, it's getting the right script is really important. But the other difference is getting the right person to direct the script. My only experience with David Mamet is I was doing we're doing Lansky, and he had written the story. It's about Meyer Lansky, and I played the original Little Caesar. So the director, John McNaughton, I said, John, the guy's Sicilian. He's, yeah. I said, well, I've written a lot of the dialogue in Sicilian. And as we're walking to the set, he said, Ron, maybe when you're dying, you could say something in Sicilian, because you can't change anything with David Mamet. So it's kind of a funny story. But
can you explain how much of a disappointment that was in your acting life?
Well, the disappointment would have been that if I hadn't gotten a major role in The Godfather, it would have catapulted me into another level of making more money, getting better roles. So, you know, there was a frustration involved in that, so. But, you know, this business is full of frustrations.
How did you go on after that? Can you explain how you went on?
Well, I continued to, I do stage work. So I traveled, went to different, mostly all over California, not California yet, sorry, I'm in California now. Traveled all over the United States, Florida, Ohio, Illinois, just all over doing different theaters and playing the leads, playing very good roles, big roles. Because the advantage an actor has when he does a stage role, he's on stage that time, and if he has a big role, it's, it kind of increases your openness, it helps you, and people see you, and maybe something will happen. But, yeah, it affected me, and I spent a lot more time on the farm, and, did that kind of thing.
People benchmarking against some future success?
Well, there was just an Italian film festival, and they have a red carpet, and they have all these actresses from Italy, and they're on the red carpet, and all the photographers are there, and they just think that, I call it the magic carpet. They just think they're gonna be on the carpet, and they're gonna go, someone's gonna see them, and they're gonna fly. So it's a little ridiculous. I mean, there's red carpets all over. The largest red carpet I've ever seen was in Rome, at the Rome Film Festival. I mean, right for street. But, it's so funny with the red carpet. I mean, it's so crazy because you watch the shows and they talk about what the women are wearing, who the designer was, this, and this. I mean, it's kind of like a fake. It's like, is this really important? Like, what about the film? What about the talent of the actor? But, it's Hollywood. Hollywood is glamour, movie stars.
Sabina made a good point. You're very physical.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the men who stand there and going,
Yeah, that's, a lot of comics do that, but it's not like I choose to be physical, it's like physicality chooses to make me that way, because, like, I have just, like, a ton of energy, and I can't, like, I've tried to stand still, you know what I mean? I just can't, I get more anxious when I'm standing still than when I'm doing this, because, like, it's like, the little man inside me wants to go,
you just react.
Yeah, it's not like I plan these movements. It kind of just, like, happens, And it's just, like, my natural, like, every time I just try to be more and more naturally be myself when I'm on stage. And that's just naturally me, So I can't help it. Some people, are like, oh, man, I wish I had more energy. I could do that. And I'm like, just do you, man, That's going to be the best thing you could do.
Would you say you're living your dream?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's totally, I just write jokes. That's what I'm pretty much doing. I'm staying as a kid and just not growing up. It's pretty awesome, It's like the same stuff I used to do when I was younger. Except I used to get in trouble for it when I was younger. About joking around, teachers yell at you, be quiet, don't laugh. And now people will clap about it and laugh about it. It's like, wow, that's great.
You guys, the man of the evening, the headliner, put your hands together for hilarious son of a bitch, Mr. Stephen Briggs!
Hey, what's going on? I like to start off with arm wrestling somebody. Who wants to arm wrestle? Who wants a piece of this? I see.
All right. I do a little bit of beatboxing, a little bit of comedy, so we'll mix it up, okay?
I see a blonde girl raising her hand. You wanna? Yeah? Okay, come on up. Let's do this. We're gonna arm wrestle. Let's freaking make it happen. Yeah, you want to set the... First I need some juice. Throw something else in here. Let's do this. Yeah, it's plugged. It's plugged. All right.
Bring it back to music. Bring it back to what you like. Bring it back to music. Bring it back to what you like. I remember when.
Tell us about yourself. What's your name? Christy. And what do you do, Christy?
I work at the mine.
Mine? What do you do at the mine?
I drive a haul truck.
Shit! Shit! You do? Hold on, let me get
we were just friends. Bring it back to music. Bring it back to what you
Hold on, let me get this juice in there. Joe, you're next. You're next. After I take care of her, you're next. You just watch out, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's it right there. She was that's
Yeah, she was next.
Right? I've never been groped so much. I know how you ladies feel now. Just like, well, whatever makes you happy. If these hanging pieces of form just please you and you're that obsessed with them, then go right ahead.
What happened?
So there's classy women here in Bishop. I went in to talk to the lady that works at the local gas station, and I said, which one of these 8 motels is the cheapest? And she goes, I don't know, but I have to use the bathroom. Can you cover the front desk for me?
Well, what motivated me in the end to do it, I just wasn't happy in Melbourne. I just wasn't happy. And I really prepared. You know, I tried to connect with people that would know people here and in LA, and I worked really hard, you know, on my, just everything on my classes. I shot, you know, pieces for my reel. I was really working hard towards, you know, towards my goal. And then I just picked a date and I went.
Oh yeah, I had to do an audition today to be an extra, which I find really hilarious.
But, you know, it's Hollywood. Hollywood is glamour, you know, movie stars. You know, it's... But the disillusionment, they really think that if they get on that red carpet, you will go on Facebook and you will see girls on the red carpet at the Oscar, at this one, at that one. And someone sees that and they go, oh, she's on the red carpet. But her friend took the picture. Not some famous photographer.
Thinking of your past, could you explain what these characters, and I want to bring you back to what you mentioned first of all, your chaotic childhood, things like sexual abuse, rejection and everything else. What do these characters do for you? Because it doesn't sound like a normal, it sounds like you transcend. But how do they make you feel? They take the pain away. Like, can you tell me really what they do for you?
I guess they do that. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to have been from that past and not want to be a mess.
Mm-hmm. My main objective when I came out to the United States was to book a role. You know, get on television, act. And then I realized that I just wasn't good enough. My skills weren't up to, I didn't really have a craft. I didn't know anything about acting when I came here. I thought I knew everything. I knew nothing.
Hey, hey, I got an audition. It's pretty exciting. It's for an Australian film that's entered into an Australian competition called Chop Fest.
What kind of music are you into? Rock? That's cool, man. Have you heard of dubstep? Dubstep is this new music, and it's really popular. I don't like it. This is the reason why. Because it sounds like a guy with a voice box, like, hello, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Oh, yeah, you're not sex right over here. Yeah. It sounded like that guy and a drummer got together, and they're like, let's start a band. It's exactly what it sounds like. I've never seen a guy with a voice box have a job. I've never seen, like, welcome to Walmart. I've never seen that. And I wish, like, they'd give the guy with the voice box a good job. Like, if he worked at a strip club introducing strippers, that'd be the best. Like, next up, Stephanie.
Well, the process in regards to acting, to improve my acting craft, firstly, I didn't just take any class. I researched. You know, I believe in researching things because, you know, there's so many acting schools here. You can go to really bad schools and pay a bunch of money and, you know, waste your time. So I was really fortunate. I was connected with a few people through my friends who were producers, and they recommended a really great school to start off with, and it changed my life.
And then I ask you, who does it remind you of? And you clearly as a bell say, Robbie. It's then that I ask you to create him through an imaginary monologue, intimately sharing what hurt you so bad. And you feel hurt. And you feel like he put you down. And you feel like he robbed you from a very important...
Robbie robbed me?
Yeah, that he robbed you from a very meaningful time in your life. That you would have rather spent with your mother, that she needed you. Yeah. We're gonna do it again. But it's important that you realize that the piece is a choice. That it is affecting you. It is reminding you very strongly of a person. And that the next step is to create him through an imaginary monologue. Now, I have to ask you which words from the piece affect you the most. So we start connecting more closely the piece and your life.
You really hurt me?
Very good.
I wanted to hurt him?
Very good.
But, you know, we have a friendship. It's not like, give me a job kind of thing. I mean, I got to share this about Bryan Singer. I was getting on an elevator at the LA Film Festival, and there's another guy coming in, had a hat, and walks in like this. I go, you look just like Bryan Singer. He's you. I knew it was you. So we hung out, talked. 3 weeks later, he calls me up, he goes, hey, Ron, I'm doing a commercial with Selma Hayek. I want you to do the commercial. But you understand my point? Now, no casting, no nothing. And I walk in the set, and he throws his arms around me, hugs me. And everybody goes, like, all of a sudden you're stuck. That's the BS. In this business, never hold a grudge. And you cannot. So I don't hold grudges at all. I can get pissed off at you. Then I'll go out and run and punch bags.
All my most positive. I mean, I lived in England for a long time, and that was very positive. But this place is my home. I love it. I hate it, and I love it. I've had, you know, I have some of the most amazing people in my life that I can't even tell you how much they touch my heart, how lucky I feel. You know, I'm surrounded by beautiful people who accept me, and I'm a hard person. I'm very upfront, and sometimes I am inappropriate or mean or whatever, and I always get love. And I've come to have mentors, my acting coach now, and my previous acting coach just shaped my life, showed me how to grow. I think just the negative experiences are kind of my fault as well, because I wasn't at a point where I felt confident enough. Now I couldn't care less. I'm sure that if I was 23 right now, I'd be working all the time. But because I had to evolve, I wasn't confident enough to go into those rooms and not care. Now I don't care. And now I get acting work because I don't care. And also, I don't want to do just anything. Not that I ever did, but I would have done other stuff. But other negative things are, you have to deal with people who are full of shit. You know, there's people here that are sharks. They're sharks. And if you're not tough enough, you could fall into that. And I've gone that path, but gotten away from it. It can be very harrowing here.
Could you tell me where the character Fred comes from?
Fred is half my real father and half Eddie Little, whose ex-wife is here, who was my ex-boyfriend who passed away, who was a writer. And I started doing a character similar to him on a Halloween as a cowboy. And then I realized that it was kind of moving into something else. And then a couple of Halloweens here, I just did him and I stayed in character, and I found him, and now he's really easy for me to get into. But he comes from my father and Eddie.
Could you tell me where the character Rhonda comes from?
Yeah. Rhonda's one of my sub-personalities. I think that's like the more loving, somewhat naive part of me that likes people not based on their looks. Subpart, because sometimes I can be very judgmental that way. But I think that's who she is, and I think I'm very sexual, and I think that's who she is. She's very sexual, but not in a dirty way. That's just her art and the way that she comes across. So I try and emphasize that part of my personality. That's how I get to her, is I use that subpart, that kind of pleasing yet sexual subpart, to get into her.
What does playing these characters do for you at an emotional level?
I can't tell you right now what it did for me on the shoot, because I feel very disjointed from that right now. I don't even know actually how I felt at the moment, but my acting has become almost blackout at times. Doesn't sound good, but I almost black out in those characters, so I can't. I mean, trying to get into them on set sometimes it's difficult. If I'm directing, I find it very challenging.
Can you explain what you mean by blacking out?
Blacking out in playing those characters, to me, my teacher says the craft is meant to do away with itself. And I'm not saying I'm a master craftsman, because I'm not, but I get what he's saying now. And what he means is that after a while, it's ingrained, that being state is ingrained somewhat in you. And I'm not acting as much. It's almost like, I'm not saying they take over me, because I don't believe in that, but it's almost to the degree where there's so much me, I don't even feel them. It's odd. I can't tell you exactly. It's almost that 11th level of consciousness that artists, actors, and artists have. I'm getting there quicker. Like, I'm starting to get there without even trying to get there. I hope. I'm jinxing now.
No use. Jesus Christ. There we go. Joe's liking it. Joe, what's your favorite sexual position? It's been that long? You just jerk off? He's like, She's like, you're gonna be using your hands, Joe. Do you take your ring off before you do it? Just, reminds me, why did I get married? Why did I get married? The skin keeps on getting caught. It's tough out here in the West. Yeah, I guess so. Mustache man right here getting wild. I like it. Mustache man, show your tits. Let me see your tits. What's that tattoo of? What's it? Come up here. Come up here. Come up here. Don't get shy on me now. Don't get shy on me now. Now you're like, oh no. I'm shy, but I'm so shy. Oh, come on. Get up here. They want you. Yeah! Come on now, show this crowd your tits. Oh, you want to okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, whoa. Oh, you're going beer down my pants. Going beer down my pants. This shit's getting crazy. Well, if anyone's thirsty, there is beer down my pants now. Good sir, I love it. I love it. Oh. My dick is drunk now. My dick is drunk. What a wild night. I mean, I've done a lot of shows, but nothing's been this crazy.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do.
And I used to feel like I wanted to hurt him badly.
Yeah, I did.
And open your eyes and look at me and tell me. I used to feel, stay there, but tell me, I used to feel, come on, baby.
I used to feel like I wanted to hurt him. I really did.
Very good. I wanted to hurt him so bad for everything that he had done to me. Come on, sweetie.
I wanted to hurt him. I wanted to get those clothes out of his closet. I wanted to burn them.
Very good.
I really did.
Very good.
And one time.
Yes.
One time.
What did you do that time?
I smashed some glasses.
Very good.
Yeah.
Against.
And I was so angry one day. I just drove out of the garage and I scratched my whole car. I was that angry.
Good. And get comfortable on the laying down position. You can do this. Very good. And one night, come on. What did you do?
Yeah, I couldn't get out there. I was so angry with him. I was just so mad with him that I got in my car and I was so mad that I screeched out of the garage and I scraped my whole side of my car and I didn't care. I drove and I was so angry and upset and crying.
And crying and angry. You wanted to hurt him so bad.
I didn't want him around anymore. I didn't care where he went.
Very good. How do you feel?
I feel angry. I feel really fucking pissed off right now.
Very good. He hurt you and you're angry. And you tell John again, John, I need to let you know why I act so funny around you. Tell him.
John, I'm going to tell you because, you know, he did so many bad things to me and I'm really angry with him still. I'm sorry, but I don't want to be, I'm just so angry with him. And it makes me crazy how angry I am at him, but this is just the way it is. I don't know why, it's just, I can't get over it. It's just in my head, it's just always there, it'll never go.
Very good, I'm still obsessed.
And I'm still obsessed and I still
Back in the day, I was obsessed that I needed to be with him, I needed to touch him, I needed to live with him. I couldn't be without him. And now I'm obsessed with the fact that I'm still angry at him and I can't get over him.
Yeah.
And
Why
even
can't
if
Why can't I, John? I don't get it. I want to be over it, and I don't want to have to tell you these stories, and I don't want to have to act all funny around you. But yeah, I'm obsessed with the fact I can't get the obsession out of my head. I was obsessed with him. I'm obsessed with the fact that I was obsessed with him.
And I like you a lot, but I can't help but being very funny at times because I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't, and I think you should know that. That is, I'm sorry, I'm also capable of that. It's scary.
Very good.
I'm a little scary.
Very good.
So you be careful you don't hurt me. You be careful, because you don't know. So you better not hurt me. You better not go away.
And keep on creating him through an imaginary monologue. Intimately sharing how much he hurt you and all the experiences. The more you do it, the more the memories are going to come up.
Ron is me. Ron is basically me, who is looking, always searching for that guy. That's Fred. That's basically, I mean, if you want to boil it down, I guess that's really what it is.
Nothing's been this wild. A man just comes up, pulls my shirt up, and boards. Like, when people see this video, they're gonna be like, what the fuck was going on there? This old Monopoly man's like, let me pour a beer on your dick, kid. You like that? Pass go, collect $200. You landed on Broadway. Oh my gosh, there's beer in my asshole right now. There's beer in my asshole. This is so weird.
I know, like, he's... Oh, that's a one-night stand right there. When you hear that, that's like a mating call. I'm like... The bird comes out. It just grabs it. Spins it and hits the mark. It's getting across like a rock. Like, and that fish comes out, grabs it. Spits it back. Take that shit back. Take that. That's P. Diddy right there. Take that.
You can listen to. Some guys can't listen. Like Brando years ago was working with Frank Darabont on a film, and he just didn't like him. And he just told him. Because some people, it's like we worked on the Mama Luke last week. The guy's telling me, could you give me a little stronger? Could you put a little more energy into it? Could you like meet it in the middle? It's like, what am I doing? Like a paint? What am I doing? It's like it's like working with music and changing scales, but you have to be able to interpret it. See, a lot of filmmakers filmmakers need to take an acting class because then they know what the process he goes through. You know, otherwise they have not a clue. They don't know what to do. You know what a guy goes through.
Okay, so you tell, when did we first meet?
Actually, the first time we met was at least maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Maybe briefly.
No, yeah, briefly, because I had another poodle at that time.
Yeah.
And her husband, Gary, was the walker.
Yeah.
And I remember Anna came and I think walked one time.
I think so.
And that's how we met. But there was no bonding at that time.
Yeah,
That
now we're
didn't happen
bonding.
until about 2 years ago. That happened. And that was terrific, because what happened was we both found out that we were Aries.
That's our big talk.
And when we found out we were Aries, it was like off and running.
Yeah, we're very similar. Like, well, the first time that it was before I met Phyllis. I guess it was about 10 years ago. And I had come into the house, and she wasn't here because taking care of Zazu, the other poodle. And I had come into the house, and she wasn't here because taking care of Zazu, the other poodle. And I had come into the house, and she wasn't here because taking care of Zazu, the other poodle. And I had come into the house, and she wasn't here because taking care of Zazu, the other poodle. And I had come into the house, and she wasn't here because taking care of Zazu, the other poodle. And I had come into the house, and she wasn't here because taking care of Zazu, the other poodle. And I had come into the house, and she wasn't here because taking care of Zazu, the other poodle. And I had come into the house, and she wasn't here because taking care of Zazu, the other poodle. And I had come into the house, and she wasn't here because taking care of Zazu, the other poodle. And I had come into the house, and she wasn't here because taking care of Zazu, the other poodle. And I had come into the house, and she wasn't here because taking care of Zazu, the other poodle. And I had come into the house, and she wasn't here because taking care of Zazu, the other poodle. And I had come into the house, and she wasn't here because ta I looked at the photographs on the stairwell, and I immediately went, I have to meet this woman. She's fantastic. I just saw her dance, and I had been a dancer as a child, so I was like, I just have to meet her. And it never turned out that I did. And then Zazu passed away, and we didn't really hear from you. And then she called and said, I need a dog walker. So
I just hoped that Gary was still around.
Yeah, so
it was a long time, but I hadn't even talked to him.
Yeah, and I was dog walking a lot more at that time, and so she wanted walks, which I do more walking, actual physical walking. So we met, and then it was pretty much instant, our connection. It was pretty much like we were kindred spirits, and we just knew. And it wasn't like talking to someone who was your age. It was just like being with my friend.
And then well, that's enough.
Nico, knock it off.
So my time in Neighbours, it was quite daunting, actually. Being so young, and I felt very inexperienced. Very inexperienced. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't have a craft. You know, I had these cameras in front of me. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like, I think I was very naive.
Well, because I think when you're younger, you want it to happen more quickly, and it affects you in that way because, you know, it's the rejection part. It's not a good feeling. I mean, rejection. I mean, we know we're discussing this, and I've told you that you become accustomed to it. But it's a different kind of rejection. I mean, I'm more affected by a rejection from a relationship than I am by losing a job or not getting an audition. I mean, you know, a lot of men do, they react differently, you know, when they break up, you know, everybody goes, oh, we're men when, you know, we're not sent, but no, it affects me, you know, and I go, but the way I work it out is I do exercise. And that's what's my relief, to get rid of the rejection. But it's part of the game. I mean, that's the deal.
Yeah, my character in Neighbours was Mandy Rogers. I was from Geelong in Melbourne. Oh, in Victoria, actually. And I was part of a love triangle with Caitlin, Billy, and Anne. And I was helping my friend Caitlin, who was also my team member in a swimming squad, to, you know, get Billy away from Caitlin.
I don't remember the joke. But it was like songs and patter, okay, talking with each other. But it was always funny. First of all, you don't know Alan Suze. He was on Laugh-In. And he was a big star at Laugh-In, and he's very funny. He was a stand-up comic plus an actor. So he wrote the dialogue, and then we had two guys that wrote the music. So it was kind of like an act like that. And we performed in a place called Ruban Bleu, which was on 53rd Street between Madison and Park, I think. And I remember one night
in New York.
In New York,
of course.
and a guy on the same bill with us was Professor Corey. You probably never heard of him. These are all.
Oh yes, I have. We do that exercise in my acting class.
He was funny, very funny. And one night, Alan and I were performing, but there was somebody's mink coat, because the stage was right up against the first row, and somebody's mink coat was on the stage, and Alan was saying to me quietly, how did somebody put their fucking mink top on the stage? And he said, and he looked up, and it was Marlene Dietrich.
No!
So he said, that's okay.
She can leave her effing mink coat on stage.
Relationship. And the fact that, you know, that she walks dogs, but she's an actress. You know what I mean? And that, you know, that kind of bonds us. You know, the theatrical background has been really great.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever been an actress, but...
Yeah, it's just similar. We understand art. We understand each other's art.
I mean, theater is theater. And if you're a performer, you're a performer.
Well, it was great at the time. It's a great experience. But afterwards, it was like nothing.
What do you mean?
Nothing was happening. And I expected something to happen.
Fred is who my dad should have been, my real dad. Fred is who my dad should have been. Fred is my fantasy of my father. Fred is who my father was, my fantasy as a child. My dad who should have come back and stepped in and not killed himself and took care of me and then been the godlike Jesus person he was meant to be. That's who he is. He is that guy. That's how I see him, and that's how I play him. I don't think about when I'm in or getting ready to do Fred, I never think about the bad things about my dad. I think about how he should have been.
And you become Fred. You are. You become Fred.
I hope so. I'm not sure. I mean, I feel sometimes when I'm in it for like an hour or two without breaking it, I do feel like that. I feel like I see everybody in a good light, unlike how Anna normally sees people. I feel like I see people for who they really are when I'm doing Fred. Rhonda's me. Rhonda's basically me, who is looking, always searching for that guy. That's Fred. That's basically, I mean, if you want to boil it down, I guess that's really what it is. I think that when I'm playing them, it's almost like I'm taking the positive out of that detrimental experience.
Can you tell me what happened to your dad? He was never on the scene? Never. I'm just trying to get the chronology in order. You talk about your mother. Can you just explain, was he ever part of your life?
I don't understand.
Well, I asked you to describe your life outside of acting. You were born in Brisbane.
Mm-hmm.
Were Mum and Dad both in Brisbane when you were born? Or your father was never on the scene?
I don't understand.
Or was your father ever around? I'm just asking this in terms of, you know, Mum and Dad or Mum, just Mum. So it was always just your mother?
Yeah.
Okay, right. I'm just trying to ask you, was your father ever part of your life? I'm just asking the question. Was your father ever part of
That's not really relevant.
Well, it is. It's part of your life, your life story.
It's not relevant.
Well, it's part of your life story.
It's not relevant.
It's okay. Well, you don't have to answer that then. It's fine.
Another thing is what they do is they close up this whole part of Hollywood Boulevard, and it's like they put these big fences up, and then you go in, and then they have these little luncheons, and you can meet the Oscar nominees, which is kind of a goof. It's kind of fun, and everybody's very happy to see each other until the night after the Oscars, when everybody sees who lost and who didn't.
Yeah. I am the nonsense man. I live in the kitchen with the pots and pans. We are the nonsense men. Skipping through the desert with the sweet name is Sven. And I am the nonsense man. I live in the garbage with the trash and cans. We are the nonsense men. Skipping through the forest with the sweet name Sven. I am a nonsense man. I own the government about 1,000 grand. Living in the mitten where the shit don't slam into the goddamn ceiling fan. And I have a wristwatch cam. Tell me what this is gonna stitch my pants. Ripping little children from their grandma's hands. And taking with the kitten in a kickbox jam. Yo, I know a kid named Stan who sits with the women and he switch rock snacks. Sipping through the linens as I dick box cats. This shit isn't making any sense. Well, that's because I have a fucked up brain. Playing single trigger with the Britney.
This is funny. No, but my buddy, when they were doing the Chippendale things, my friend says, come with me. So we went. How long ago was this? It's like 20 years ago.
No, this was, over 20 years ago.
Wouldn't have a body pretty much the same?
No, the body is the same, but...
What's different? The bow tie?
Ain't no rhyme or reason for the prick-side slang. So get up on the motherfucking nonsense train, cause I am a nonsense man. Tripping in the ocean with the sharks and clams. Never really giving any shits nor dabs. If you have a problem with the goddamn fact that, well, this is a nonsense world, and everybody in it is a man, boy, girl. If you take it serious, then you're messed up. So grow a sense of humor or you will get fucked. Middle of the woods, these kids are crazy. Middle of the woods, in the middle of the desert, in the middle of the woods. What the fuck is going on? This is where it gets important. Really important statement here. You were born on a big blue sphere with the men and the mice right north. And you sat in the asshole chair right there. But the truth would resound in time that the bears were not on our side.
I remember I brought this one girl back for one night stand because she went, ah! So I was like, you're coming back with me. And she came back and I was like, hold on, I gotta use the bathroom first. And I go back and I'm like, ugh. But my bathroom was broken at the time, so I was peeing in cups. So I was like, I came back out and she was asleep on my couch. And I was like, wow, it can't get any worse than this. What happens? I accidentally throw up on her. What do? Wake her up, tell her she threw up on herself. I know, we still talk. She bought me a new pillow. I was like, I need to throw up on chicks more often. I'm getting gifts.
I don't know where to start. I don't know if I even see you. I want to see you. I'm sorry, I have to stop.
Because?
Because someone just walked in.
And that is?
Someone that's been told that they can't come in. Sorry.
I don't understand. Who came in? Okay. And you don't want in the room?
No.
Okay. Did he go out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why is it that you don't want him in the room?
Because I don't feel comfortable exposing it because I fear that he might interrupt the process.
All right. So, immediately, we're going to start again. How do I feel?
How do I feel? I feel angry.
Very good.
Because he's been told that he wasn't supposed to come in.
Very good. That is Robbie.
Numerous times.
Robbie.
Robbie never frickin' listened.
Talk to him.
I told him so many...
I
told you so many times, you can't speak to me like that. You're an asshole. Get lost. I hate you. I never want to see you again. I packed my things 1,000,000 times and you just kept on getting me back. And I remember one day, I took all of my clothes out, all of your clothes out of the closet, and I just threw them down and I wanted to get a lighter and burn them petrol, and I wanted to get it on fire and just explode. That's what I wanted to do, but I didn't.
How do you feel?
I feel like my heart's beating faster.
And I feel hurt.
Yeah, I feel angry. I feel angry because I just feel like nobody listens. This is not just him. It's like no one ever listens. No male ever listens to me.
Very good.
It's like I'm a woman. Just because I say something, I mean it. And it makes me angry when people don't fucking listen. Why don't they listen to me? Why didn't he listen to me? Why did he hurt me so much? I don't know why he hurt me so much. He scarred me. He left me with a big scar. And I can't repair it. It's gone. There's no way.
He used to say to me, he used to do...
He used to say to me, gosh, I think I've tried to block this out so much so it doesn't hurt me. He just used to say, you know, get a job, get a life. Your acting's going nowhere. Get a real job.
And I used to feel...
Don't wear so much makeup. And I used to feel insecure. I was so not confident. And it just pissed me off what just happened. It really pissed me off.
Tell him, Robbie.
Robbie, you know when you tried to come back into my life, every time I came back from overseas, my phone would ring. It would always ring and it would be you. And you were always trying to come back and to get me back and to get me addicted to you.
And you got me addicted to
And
you.
you got me addicted to. I don't know how. Maybe I like being treated badly. I don't know. I do know.
How do you feel?
I feel like I just want to be loved. That's all. I think the reason I want him so much, or I wanted him so much, is just because I wanted to be loved so much. That's it. I just wanted to be loved so much. Someone just to love me. Just to love me. That's all.
You know, Leah and I were there that night. We were at a party together, and Adam was on that master cleanse, and somebody came over and goes, "Hey, your son fell down," and he banged his head. And we thought it'd be okay, so the doctor, the ambulance came, and they said he was okay. Then we took him to the hospital. And
Was he training to be an actor?
no, Adam was in. Everybody wants to be an actor, but he didn't want to. He would rather do commercials. He was doing vintage clothes, and it was really. There was a line in The Exorcist that the priest tells God to take him, and I told God, "Take me. I've had a life." I figured, like worked in the movie, maybe the spirit would take me, but it didn't. And it's something you deal with. Like I'm being emotional now, but sometimes I'm riding a motorcycle, and a tear comes down. It just happens. How do you deal with it? Someone said the other day, "Wow, it's 7 years." I said, "Yeah, 7 years. 7 years." But the good thing, in a positive way, is that we donated all of his organs. Hundreds of people survived. But he was a good kid. I wish you were here now. But I loved him. Adam was a good kid. He was. He would tell you. He would call me every day, tell me what's going on. And you say, "Dad," I call him, and at the end of the day, he said, "Oh, Dad, I'm sorry I haven't gotten back to you." But he's a good kid, But how do you deal with it? It's, I'm crying now, so I know if I'm working, I'm sorry. When I saw Silver Linings Playbook and I saw this scene with De Niro and his son, wow, that's a powerful scene, And if you're an actor and you have stuff, that could have gone much further. But, so yeah, it's something every now and then. I mean, I don't really do this, and then there it jumps out.
Can you explain then, do you have a time in the future when you think you'll be ready?
Hopefully. Hopefully I'll have a time in the future where I feel ready. And I think that being able to play them and to accept and be loud, because I'm very loud, I'm very vocal about what I survived. I think that when I'm playing them, it's almost like I'm taking the positive out of that detrimental experience.
I just write jokes. I mean, it's like I'm staying a kid.
When you go out for a job, if you don't get the job, a couple things I wanted for last week, I'm the best they can get. I always feel I'm the best person for the job. And I knew, because when I do the audition, if they don't get it, they're lost.
Yeah, definitely. Because I want to get booked for more shows. That's what I ultimately care about, is doing more and more shows. And that would just help me. Like, that's not my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is just to be able to keep myself, fed from doing stand-up,
And it's almost like I'm telling myself, fuck you. I'm going to make this something else, and I'm going to change it around. And that's I don't really analyze it, but if I was to analyze it, I would say that that's playing those characters is somewhat that. It's somewhat a survival growth mechanism.
And I make just enough to live right now, you know what I mean? But once in a while, treat me latey every once in a while, you know? So that just helps you be able to get more money in the game, you know?
I kind of, after Godfather, I got very disappointed and lived on a farm. So like I wasn't 65 years old retiring, I did it at 30. So like you have a life in between. A lot of people, they put everything into this, but there's no other life.
At the moment, I'm on hiatus. I'm just concentrating on my craft.
Can you explain to me, do you have any alternative plans that if you don't reach that working actor level, do you have another plan? Do you have another life plan?
No, I don't have any other life plan. There's no plan B. I stuck with plan B my entire life, and I was miserable. So acting is plan A, and that's the only one I have.
So this is it?
This is it, exactly.
There's no plan B?
No plan B. People might think that's crazy, but I just think that's, for me, that's the way I exist.
No worries. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's good. That's good. Right, that's a wrap.
Okay, that's fine.